Okay, as you can see, we've opened up the Luv Sub. We've got less than 3 weeks till we depart, so I'm gonna give you 10 spring maintenance items to check out and to do before you leave, and also one bonus item, that an expiration date that I'm almost positive you had no idea that there was an expiration date. So join us for episode 22 of Luv Subbin. Okay, item number 1, and this one is incredibly important because this is a safety issue, and this is to lubricate your breakaway switch. This is best done, as you can tell, the batteries are still inside, so this is best done when the batteries are out of the camper, because once you pull the pin to perform your maintenance, if you had the battery connected, that would energize your brakes, and it would drain the battery and also put some heat onto the braking system, so you wouldn't want to do that. So this is best done with the battery off. So I've got some 3-in-1 oil. And what I'm going to do is sit these pans down. I'm going to pull the switch. As you can see, that was a little tough. I'm going to apply just a little bit of oil to the surface there.
What kind of oil is that?
That's 3-in-1 lubricating oil. Reapply this. And make sure it comes out. Put it back in. And then we maintained our breakaway switch. Item number 1. Okay, item number 2 on our list of maintenance items is this is both a safety and a regulatory issue, primarily regulatory, and that is to check the certification date on your propane tanks. These propane tanks have to be recertified every 10 years from date of manufacture, and then every 5 years after that. So in Vermont, they affix a sticker to your tank, and you can see here this one was last certified in August of 2018, and so I'm good for another 5 years on this puppy. It cost me $22, which included a propane fill because the tank has to be empty when they certify it. And make sure you check around, because I had to go all the way up to the next city from us here to find somebody who would recertify it. So if you figure 22 bucks, it's probably about 10 bucks to certify them. But the big deal here is if you run out of propane, you go to take it to refill, they realize it's out of certification, and then you're not going to get it filled, and that's going to be a pain in the neck. So that's item number 2. Okay, item number 3, we're going to turn our attention to our hitching setup, our hitch ball. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out the hitch receiver of any grease that might be in there. And of course, I grease and lubricate my hitch ball, and so a lot of times it gets up there and funky, so I'm going to use a citrus degreaser. Put that in there. Clean up all that so I get all that old funky grease out of there, and you can see that. And then I'll be good to go for the season. Okay, I always had a phrase for number 4, which is lube it or lose it. So the first thing I'm going to lubricate will be the hitch receiver latch. I'm going to put, again, my 3-in-1 oil. Some of that there on the spring, on the slide. And work that a little bit. The inside will get some hitch grease from the hitch ball. And then I'm going to come around here to my weight distribution hinge. Put a little lube there. Goes back and forth. I'll repeat to the other side. And then finally I'm going to come around over here to our hitch steps. And I'm going to lube those puppies. And work that. There. That way we won't lose it, because I lubed it. Okay, the final step in our lubrication is to lubricate both front and rear stabilizers on both sides. And for that, I use Bow Shield T9. I don't know if this is the best stuff to use, but it's what I've been using all along. This is that stuff that's developed by Boeing for use in the aircraft industry, and it provides a lot of rust-proof protection, and also it's a waterproof lubricant. So I found it works pretty good. You know, obviously this area here is going to get a lot of dust and dirt and crap like that, so some other lubricants may not be as effective, but this is what I find. So I'll go ahead and here, give that a spray. Once I've lubricated it, of course, I'll go ahead and work it. Up. And down to make sure that it gets fully all along that screw there, the lubricant and the rust protection. Okay, number 6 on our list of 10 maintenance items to do in the spring is to give some tender loving care to your windows and the seals around them. So we're going to start with opening up our front shade to our sunglasses. See some this way. So the first thing I'll do, I'll take a brush, kind of brush all my rubber seals. And then to all the window seals, I'll apply some silicone. So
and you're going to link all these products in the description below.
Yeah, I'll show some links and stuff like that, but this can be at any automotive store. So really what I'll do is on all the gaskets everywhere on the camper, silicone. And what that does is it does a couple of things. It keeps the rubber very pliable and soft.
Keeps it from drying out.
Keeps it from, yep. And it also, most importantly, on these windows, it'll make the window easier to open because it won't stick to the rubber gasket as much. So that's the first step in giving some tender loving care to your windows. Of course, we'll go ahead and clean them. Now this next step is more applicable to Airstreams. But of course, if you didn't know, your sunglasses open up on both sides, and you should go ahead and clean these things at least once every spring. So you do that by taking a flathead screwdriver. You've got the small little screw there. You'll see in a minute why it's important to clean this thing out. Look at all the leaves and crap that have accumulated over the winter. So I'll go ahead and brush those out. Brush this out. And then we'll go ahead and repeat the process with our silicone. On these seals as well. And then finally, when we're done, it's just a simple, it takes a little bit of elbow grease sometimes to get these guys to go in. But you kind of make sure they're flat, they go vertical. And then just like an airline pilot, as we do our final walkthroughs, one of the things I always do is just kind of give it a shake to make sure it's latched. But that's some tender loving care for your windows. Okay, we're going to start moving inside the Airstream here, and we're going to pay some attention to some fire extinguisher maintenance and our smoke alarm for item number 7. So, this is the fire extinguisher that came with the Airstream, so we checked to make sure the little green thing pops up. This isn't as good as a dial, I know that, but it's still got pressure. I also just take it once a year kind of do this number, make sure it hasn't caked too much so that I can feel it thud. And I'm not a fire professional, so if you're a fire person out there, you can definitely comment in the comment below as to whether this is worth your while or not. I've heard some people say it doesn't matter, some people say it does, so I don't know, but I just do it anyway. What the heck. Okay, and this is also a good time to check to see if your fire extinguisher is part of the KIDDE recall, or KIDDE, I don't know how you pronounce it.
How's it spelled? K-I-D-D?
K-I-D-D-E. There'll be a link in the description below. This one here was not part of the recall, but we noticed that 3 of the ones
that we had around the house,
that we had, one in the kitchen and one each in our vehicle, was part of the recall. So you get onto their site, you enter in the lot number of the extinguisher, they'll tell you if it's part of the recall. They'll send you new ones with a box, you send them the old ones. All in all, it took us about 3 weeks total from the time I got onto the computer to get the new ones.
and it was all free, no shipping.
Yep, they sent the shipping instructions and everything. So definitely check to see if you're part of that recall, because it could lead to, you want these things to work when they need to work, because you don't need to be trying to get them to fix a fire extinguisher while your rig is burning to the ground. So that's number 7.
So this is item number 8, and this is some of what I do is I always take the shower curtain in the bathroom off its little track here. It has a little screw here, and then it just runs right off the track. And I bring it in for washing.
Okay, so for item number 9, we've got a couple of filters we're going to clean. The first of which is on our range, and this is what sucks up all of the smoke and grease and steam. So we're going to grab this little guy. We're going to take this guy upstairs, and we're going to clean him in soap and water. The other set of filters that it's important to check are for your air conditioner, and here there's 2 of them. So you access those by grabbing these little clips. And if you saw my spare parts video, which I'll link up above, you know that I carry 2 extra filters for the air conditioner. So I'll take this inside and we'll give this a cleaning. We are at the Bennington, Vermont Walmart, and we are here to get about the only thing that we actually replace every single year in our spring maintenance. So that is our water filter. So we'll get one of these guys. We've been using this particular brand here, this Camco blue filter for our entire life of our RV. So we've found that this thing to be sufficient. We'll do some testing, we'll do some labeling, and we'll get it back into the RV and ready for use in a few weeks.
And how much does this cost?
$17.87 for the single. We'll buy the single, and we usually keep this for 1 season.
Excellent.
At the beginning of this video, I promised you a bonus item that I'm willing to bet very few of you know has an expiration date, because it blew me away when I just happened to notice it, and that are your wheel chocks. So if you look at them, I'm gonna grab this guy right here. I didn't realize this, but if you look, it says replace after 05-2006. So our Airstream's in 02. I figured these were probably molded in 01. So it's a 5-year lifespan on your wheel chocks. And I assume that's because they're brittle. They assume they get a little bit of abuse. And so I'm going to debate whether I replace these or not. They're pretty cheap. I think they're $3.47 at Walmart.
So why not?
And we probably will do so, just because this kind of thing drives me nuts.
Safety first.
Safety first. And I would not want to have my Airstream roll down a hill because I was using expired wheel chocks.
So I hope you found our video useful. We're looking forward to getting on the road very shortly.
Yeah, we've got less than 3 weeks if everything goes according to plan, which...
The road's looking dicey, and you never know about these late winter storms.
But anyway, there's 10 RV maintenance items for your spring trip that I hope you found interesting. If you have items that you do for your RV maintenance in the spring that I didn't cover, definitely leave them in the description, in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you as far as things that I could improve upon.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up as it helps our channel. And also, if you haven't subscribed and you want to enjoy our videos, please subscribe and you can enjoy our content.
Yep, we come out with RV-related content every Tuesday, so we'll see you next week as we get closer and closer to heading down south to the Everglades eventually.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week.